Today's video, we're going to talk about GA4 alternatives or Google Analytics alternatives before switching to another analytics tracking program like Pewik or other tracking programs. You need to view this video because there's some important considerations to think about before you actually make the jump and go ahead and do it, given it's a lot of work to get to know a new program, which is the biggest cost or hidden cost when you start to use new software, but also the cost of setting up all the conversion tracking and funnel tracking, everything else you need to take advantage of that tracking program. With that said, I'm going to go into detail what those basically are on this video so you are fully informed going into the process, because for some of you guys it would be helpful to go ahead and switch, but for a lot of you guys you shouldn't switch once you consider all the costs of actually switching. So with that said, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, a online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That we do not take a management fee from our clients until we get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability up front on their campaigns. We are the only agency on the planet who offers such a guarantee, which should tell you something about the quality of the information you're receiving on today's video. With that said, there are definitely more and more analytics tracking programs that are coming out all the time to help you track results on ad campaigns. I want to say there's easily got to be 10 or more of them nowadays, whereas back in the olden days, when I first started doing online marketing stuff before 2010, there was one or two. Especially since recently Google has really effed up their own analytics tracking program. It used to be amazing. Like, there was no reason to switch to an analytics tracking program because Google Analytics had it all and it was easy to use. Not anymore. It almost takes a data scientist just to interpret the data in Google Analytics 4 nowadays. And because of this, many smaller companies that without the data manager are looking to switch programs. Instead of, you can replace data manager with analytics manager. What they're basically saying is, man, Google Analytics 4 is hard to use. I have to use a YouTube video just to find out how many clicks I got from my Facebook ad, or how many clicks I got organic Twitter posts that we post, or whatever, just for simple information like that. Or how many form fills did we get last month? All of that information used to be pretty easily accessible through the universal Google Analytics. Unfortunately, you can't use universal analytics anymore, so we're boned. They took a good product. I understand why Google did this, by the way, because these analytics providers are clearly trying to go after the big companies. The big companies that need to track a bunch of stuff and have a lot of traffic coming to their site are where the money's at. They want to charge, ideally, bigger companies a lot of money in order to use their upgraded versions of their analytics programs. And all the small companies that are doing $1 million a year, $500,000 a year, they don't really care about them anymore because they're not profitable. And even if they try to charge for an analytics software, they don't really have that much money. And frankly, people that are at that company size, they don't really care about tracking to begin with. I know because I look at ad accounts all day. I audit ad accounts, for clients that we may potentially work with. And I can tell you from experience, probably 30% of companies track the results. The other 70% either don't track them right or don't track at all. And then of the 30 that do track them right, they still aren't tracking it all the way through like they're supposed to. The people that are tracking sales all the way through and all their sales, it might be 5-10%. Most people aren't taking it seriously, which you should, by the way, because how could you possibly make your ads better if you don't know what the hell's going on? Analytics programs are great when you have a dip in your sales and you want to know, should you panic or not? Why is there a dip in sales? Well, if you don't have it all tracked in Google Analytics, you can't see if it's organic traffic that's down or whatever. So you don't actually end up messing up something that isn't screwed up to begin with. And you could do year-over-year comparison. Okay, organic's down. Is it normally down this time of year? So you can make those kind of decisions. Those are the main ones that I use Google Analytics for. Anyway, with that said, Piwik Pro is the one analytics program that I would recommend as they've been around the longest. No, this isn't a stupid promo video for Pewik. Pewik's been around a long, long time. More than 10 years. When it comes to software companies that have been around a long time and are usually the market leaders are worth all the money that they charge, which is usually more money. In this case, they aren't charging more, but because software is usually buggy, especially business software, because there's only so many customers, so many users, and building in all these features for all these different types of businesses is expensive. So they're trying to make the software cater to everybody, and as a result, there's a lot of holes in the software and so forth. If you want something reliable, which is the number one thing you would want with an analytics software other than ease of use or intuitiveness, which Google Analytics firmly screwed up, you'd want something reliable, and that reliableness should just come from analytics software that's been around the longest. Decades old, just go with that one. Piwik Pro doesn't even cost you any money either. Not unless you've got a lot of traffic to your site. More than what 98% of the people watching this video have going to their site already. And if you do need to upgrade, the price is actually reasonable. You can almost do anything with Piwik Pro as you can actually do with Google Analytics 4, by the way. And whether you're talking about using something similar to Google Tag Manager to set everything up in terms of conversion tracking, funnel tracking, lifetime value from customers that come through your store, that if you have a store that people are buying more than once, which is pretty important to do, all that stuff. Basically speaking, I don't really know of anything that Pewik can't do that Google Analytics 4 does. I'll just let you know that up front, and it's super reliable because it's been around so long. That said, there's some other considerations here, of which, by the way, if you want to know whether you need to use XYZ analytics program or whatnot, the other thing you need to consider is just in regards to what you should be tracking, how you should be tracking. A lot of you guys who watch this channel know about it, but if you haven't been watching for a while, I talk a lot about offline conversion tracking stuff that occurs. If a person makes a purchase offline, you track that in your ad accounts. And in Google Analytics, as a part of this, it comes into play a lot of times. And then obviously you need the right ad strategy to make the tracking make sense, because poor quality traffic mixed in with good quality traffic will make your traffic go up and down. You can't make any sense of the data anyway. If you want the best information that you could possibly find online about how to make millions of dollars a year running ads for your business, you need to subscribe to this channel and you need to pay attention to what's on this channel, because I spend 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm, and I share exactly what works and what doesn't work on all the main ad platforms, as well as what works in terms of landing pages and tracking and analytics and how it all works together. So if you're serious about making money, you want to subscribe to this channel, because most of the other information on YouTube and elsewhere on the web is given to you by people who don't run ads at all. Yes, this goes on. Or they run a couple ads and they're just trying to sell you a course or making money off of ad revenue, or they own a firm and they're subcontracting the work out, and so they aren't in the weeds doing anything, or they're really poor at what they do. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the best information you can find on the topic. And I know that because I look around for information and it's very, very sparse from people actually doing the work on an ongoing basis and focusing on the strategy end of things. So you should subscribe if you haven't already. You should also check out my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. The blog has actual step-by-step instructions to use the strategies we're using to guarantee results for our clients as well. So you want to check that out as well while you're at it. And if you have any questions about anything I'm covering here today, or any marketing related question for that matter, you can always leave me a comment in the comment section. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. Going back to what I was saying here before, now Pewik, the reason why you would obviously want to use it, bottom line it for you here, is it's simple to use. An average Joe who runs a little e-commerce store or a local service or what have you can make sense of the data. You don't have to set up any damn custom reporting just to learn the basics of what you need to know, which, by the way, is the deal with GA4. GA4, the data is technically there. You just have to be knowledgeable and trained to be able to access it. You got to learn how to create custom reports. And it's just a really big pain in the ass every time you want to know something. You've got to go click 15 times to create some custom damn report to find out what you need to find out. I mean, naturally, you could have a few custom reports already set up to access the main stuff you would want to know, but sometimes you need to know something else. And then the report you have isn't going to work, such as, I need to know, ultimately, what is the number of form fills that I had, cart abandonments that I had this fall versus the previous fall for this specific traffic source. And you got the custom reports, it's not going to work. You need to be able to slice and dice the data, You got to be able to do it on the fly. GA4 can still be customized any way you want to view any data that you want, to track anything that you want. It just now takes an GA4 expert to be able to do it, okay? And for me, it's really frustrating. I don't want to have to rely on somebody else to pull up data to make a decision on something I'm trying to do with my business. Some of the business, because I also have some businesses that we have other than our ad agency. With that said, okay, you're still gonna probably need some help from a professional to get your Pewik installation set up the right way too, of course. But at least when all your goals are set up, you don't have to set up a custom report to view data, and it's clear how to slice and dice the data yourself, like Universal Analytics was. And the other thing that's kind of cool about Pewik is contractors are available for Pewik because it's been around over 10 years. So you could go to Upwork and look for a Pewik specialist, and there's tons of guys there that are just specializing in Pewik. So you won't have any problem getting all your goals set up. So if you're thinking like, am I going to be able to set this multidimensional funnel report in my Pewik account? Yes, you basically should be able to. And you could do it just by hiring a professional Pewik specialist to do it, which, by the way, you typically will want to do that. The thing I see people do all the time at our firm is they screw up their conversion tracking because they hire their in-house tech guy to set up the goals, and it's not as easy as what you think it is. Even if the documentation is out there and you can find it, you can Google it. Unless you've set up 100 installations, you're never going to be that great at it. So you want somebody who set up tracking, and not just tracking, but they specialize in Google Analytics 4 tracking, or they specialize in PWIC tracking. So if you're going to do the PWIC thing, get yourself a PWIC guy that has good feedback on Upwork and have him set everything up like you need it to be set up inside PWIC. That guy will be also useful, by the way, just to be able to help you find the data that you want. You can get on a call with them and you could say, how do I access this, this, and this? And they'll show you. But for the most part, the program itself is intuitive. After that guy or gal helps you out for a couple days, find what you need, you're never going to need help again. It's going to be set up, it's there, and unless you do something like accidentally delete the tracking code from the site, you're never going to need him again. But he's on call if you need him. Which people, by the way, all the time also, I see people accidentally deleting their tracking code or overriding it because they have another guy who manages their website that's a bonehead who doesn't understand how to not interfere with the tracking code when it's on the site, And then as a result of that, your data screwed up and you have a big hole in your data, or your ad campaigns don't have the data that it needs. And then you realize that the code was deleted after the ad campaign that you had that was making you a ton of money every month goes completely off into left field, which is its own separate thing. The other thing that Piwik has is a really good forum. So even your guy who may not know everything that you hire for Piwik, your Piwik specialist, he can go there and ask a question in the support forum and get feedback there pretty easily. And if you are willing to spend money with Piwik, you can get really, really good customer service with them. Now that's going to cost you about $1,000 a month to get that level of customer service through them, but it's there if you wanted it to be. For the most part though, you're not going to need it. One really good Piwik guy is going to be able to do everything you need it to do. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be easy. And then once you have, the reward is I can go in there without having to need a GA4 reporting specialist, create some custom report for something I need to be able to view. I can go in there and I can manipulate the data inside the program in real time myself because it's intuitive and have everything I need. By the way, if you want, also, we're familiar with Piwik at our firm. If you want somebody to set this up for you, and also while we're at it, give you some ideas to start getting you to the next level with your ad campaigns, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I can give you a quote on what we can guarantee in terms of an increase in profitability from your ads. And then if you want to get the tracking set up within Piwik, we can do that for you as well. But and then on top of that, by the way, would I like to also mention that we've been selling ad templates. If we worked in your niche market in the recent past or in the past in general, or currently working in your niche market in a different geographic area, we could sell you the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates, all of it that generate results great results in your niche market already, such as if you're a plumber in Texas, we've already worked a plumbing campaign in another area besides Texas. You can use everything we use to get a great cost per lead in that market for yourself by buying the ads, campaigns, landing pages, copy paste them into your account and get the same results that we're getting. Even if you're in e-commerce, we can get you a template that works a lot of times because, like, let's say you sell mattresses. Well, we don't have a client who sells mattress in Canada. And so if you're in Canada, you can use the template that we used to sell millions of dollars of mattresses in the US. You can use it to sell mattresses in Canada. At the very least, you should check out and find out if we actually got results in your niche market already and what results we've gotten in it, because you would be doing yourself a huge favor using that template, obviously. For a small one-time fee, you can get the template and get the same results we're getting with none of the tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars of ad spend and testing it took for us to figure out the ultimate best way to run ads in that market. And then with that, if you're not sure, by the way, on what to do, and you also still don't like to work with ad agencies per se, other than the templates, I've been offering 30-minute coaching sessions with different individuals who are trying to get their agency on track. Also with companies that are trying to get to the next stage with their sales. I do those calls as well. And the reason why those calls are useful to most of the people that I'm working with is because I can look at everything you're doing. From your top level of your business to your ads, all the ads that you're running, your website, everything that's running on your website. The reason why you can't get to the next level with your ads is because of the ads or because of your website or something else. So if you're stuck, that get you unstuck. And I've worked with hundreds of companies, so I've seen it all go wrong. I've seen the stuff that works, and it'd be highly valuable information for you for sure to get you onto the next level of what you're doing, get to find out what you should be working on next, if it's not the ads. Because the reason why I mention this, because a lot of times you guys are trying to get your ads to work, and it's a different problem altogether. Your website's not looking professional enough for the level of competition in your niche, or what have you. So with that said, I pretty much spelled out what's going on. Now, not to say there aren't other analytics programs that might be okay. I obviously haven't had a chance to test them all. However, in software, you generally want to go with the biggest, baddest one. It'll be the least buggy, but also you're going to have the most support for that software in terms of integrations, in terms of support, people that know how to use it and help you use it. You just want to go with the biggest one, not a new company. If you go with a new company that has a nice flashy look website and whatnot, that company could easily go out of business 2 years from now, and then you're just screwed. All your data is gone. So this is a very important thing to consider when you are deciding if you should jump ship and then to where. But for the most part, I haven't found any reason not to go with Pewik. Without sounding like I'm selling out to you guys for Pewik, I really am not doing that. It's just the best program that I personally know works. Best alternative currently that we know of other than Google Analytics. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and I'll see you in the next one.
Remember when I said Google Analytics was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.